In this video, we'll see how we can simulate a circuit using Kicad. So in the previous video, we had drawn this circuit using a battery and two resistors. Now, if you want to simulate it, this battery's spice models are required inside the Kicad. So what we'll do is we'll go to this components and then here search for now. To see a waveform, what we'll do is I'll replace this with a AC signal, right? So go to the parts and search for, I'll search for voltage source. Now here you can see this option called simulation spice. So any component listed under these are what you can simulate. These are spice models are available for this. Now these other things that you see are basically just components with no spice models, so they may not be able to simulate output. They can only show you the component image when you actually go to the PCB view of the circuit. So what we'll do, we'll take a V sine here, which is a sinusoidal source, and I will remove this battery and I will place this. Why I'm placing a sinusoidal source is because I can see a waveform in the simulation. A battery will only give me a straight line. Here I can actually see the waveforms. It's better to see a sine wave in the simulation. I can change the amplitude of this. Double click on the text part. Let's say I'll make it 10 volts. 1k is the frequency. Let it be as it is. Okay. Save this and to simulate it, click on this simulator symbol and then run the simulation. Here you have to select what type of analysis you want to do, because I want to see the waveform of the output once it is executed for some duration of time. I will select transient analysis. Time step is how accurate you want the waveform to be. So I'll take a small number here, could be 101 millisecond or something like that. I want to, let's say, run till 50 milliseconds. That this depends purely on the type of output you want to view. I will start saving from initial part. Initial time is 0. Max time step you can leave it blank for now. Click on OK. If there are any errors, it will show here. Otherwise, it will execute and stop here. Now, no, none of the waveforms are visible for now because we have not selected what we want to view. So either you can select the waveform by clicking on these, or you can take a probe and then switch to the schematic and put a probe where you want to see. So if I put a probe here and go back to my schematic, I can see the sinusoidal waveform, which is the input waveform. I can zoom in a little bit. So this is my sine wave, plus 10 to minus 10. You can see my amplitude was 10 volts. So I can see plus 10 to minus 10 sine wave. Resistance values we have not given. So let's add some resistances to this to make it actually practical. So let's say add a 1k resistance here and add a 1k resistance here and save it and simulate once more. This is my input. I can probe once more at this point and see what I get. You get another sine wave, but voltage is lesser, which is what we would expect because this is a resistance, so some voltage would drop across this and I would get a sinusoidal wave with a lesser voltage at this point, right? So this is how you can simulate the output. You can also see the current by taking the probe and converting it into a hook kind of thing. So if you place it here, it will become a current waveform. So you can see now I can remove these two. This is the current waveform. If you want to realign, unzoom it, you can click on this. It will zoom to fit to what is the actual. You can see this is the milliamps current output what we are seeing here. Alright, so any simulation you can view the output here depending on how you are building up the circuit here. But remember, for every circuit you take here, each of the components that is listed here should have a corresponding this what spice model. If that is not there, you will not be able to simulate it. Now, just to see what may happen, let me remove this and put back my battery. Okay, which was just a battery symbol, not a spice model. Okay, I'll just put up single battery. So you can see this is a device. This is not a spice model. I can put the battery here, can say save. And before I execute the simulation, one thing I can do to check the circuit is I can go to inspect, I can run something electrical rule checker. So if I run an ERC, it will tell me some errors are there. Now generally what happens here when I run electrical rule checker, now I am saying there is a battery available here, but there is no source. This is not actually a battery. This is just a symbol. So there is no definition for where is this power coming from. So if the generally this power would come from outside, you would connect an external battery to the circuit. So that has to be indicated to Keycad using something called as power flag. So search for a power flag, click on OK, and just place the power flag near this ground symbol. And then again go to inspect, go to run ERC again. So ERC is electrical rule checker, checking if all the electrical components are properly connected. So once this is done, I can go to simulation. Sorry, can go to simulation. And now if I run the simulation, you can see it says circuit not unknown parameter battery cell, because this battery cell does not have a spice model. So it will not really understand what to do with this. So whenever we choose a component, it has to be from the spice this only. So if I want a battery, then it should be VDC, and I can go for a spice model here. Mm, okay, it's not listed here. You can call it as voltage. Will come. Yeah. So here you can take VDC. If I put this instead of the battery, this is a spice model, so this will not have a problem. You can save and simulate. This will run. This will just give me a straight line because it's just a battery, so I can see the current voltage whatever I want to view, right? So simulation wise, I mean KiCad is okay, but primarily we don't use KiCad for simulation, right? We use KiCad for PCB, printed circuit board. So simulation is available just to verify the circuit is working properly or not, but that is not what KiCad is primarily meant for. So if you want to simulate a circuit, you rather use an LT Spice software to actually simulate and see the output, and then come here and build the circuit for PCB. That's a much better tool to simulate circuits. Use KiCad for PCB related operations only. Fine. Hope the simulation part is clear. Thank you.